Welcome back to Breaking Down Storage Tech. Today we're breaking down a precision box loader by CommandLeo and Walter. Now this system is 2-way tileable using SSI filtering or signal strength independent, and the precision in the precision box loader essentially means that this box right here, no matter what no matter what the scenario, it will always filter into this slice right here. There's no chance that it will cross over into any other slices. So let's get straight into it. You have your packed ice line right here, or this will be your water stream, that you'll have your item just aligned over here so it can keep the speed of being on the packed ice while also going over these filters. Now these filters are SSI filters, which have the filter items and one singular the item you want to filter. And what basically what happens here is this comparator takes a readout from here, and if the item fills up enough, the item you're trying to filter fills up enough, what will happen is this comparator will power just enough this redstone line right here, so it'll power this blue line right here, which will unpower this redstone torch, unlocking this bottom line right here, which causes this hopper to unlock, allowing items to flow down. Now this happens the same on the other side, except the path takes is a little bit more wonky, going all the way up right here into this redstone torch, and this goes all the way down. Now how this top bit is hopper locked is A through this line right here, which has a redstone dust powering this hopper right here, and you can flick this off right here to unpower this, and this line right here which powers this redstone dust and powers this hopper through this, so you can turn that off. Now for this line right here, or this bottom line, these hoppers are also powered from the system or before of the filtering, and the logic behind this is if no items are going through here because they're hopper locked, these hoppers will never unlock. Now at the same time, these two are also locked, which can be powered by here, which is basically this redstone dust right here powering this one, and powering the block here, powering this right here, and the repeater to continue the signal. Now over here you got your shulker line, which we'll talk about in a second, but that's partly powered by this right here as well as this line right here. Now getting straight into it. Basically, once the items get filtered, they will get stored in this shulker box. What happens is when they get stored in the shulker box, this comparator takes a readout. Now what does this readout do? Basically, it goes into this redstone wire right here with a power of 14 that you can see right there. Why is this getting a power of 14? Because there's a redstone block right here with the dust on top of it, so this has automatically a power of 15, and because it's one block over, it loses 1 power. Now, the only instance where this comparator will give a power of 15 is when the shulker box is completely full. Conveniently, is basically what happens is when this gives a power of 15, it's the only signal that will update this redstone wire right here, causing these two observers to detect it, as well as this being one block over, meaning that it will just also be a signal strength of 14, meaning that a slice firing here won't cause the neighboring slices to fire. Now what happens to the signal? It goes in 2 directions, down and to the left. Now let's break down the down one first, because I think this is more important. What happens here is this observer detects it, powering this block right here. This block will send a signal to here and down. Now this signal right here has a delay of 3, so it'll take a little bit longer to fire. But what will happen before that is this note block right here will power this dropper right here, which has nothing in it, but all it is used to is to get an update going to these two observer lines right here, which goes and powers this redstone line right here. Once this redstone line is powered, it sends 2 signals, one up here and one right here. This one up here goes and to unlock this redstone torch right here, which unlocks this item hopper, but this has to be done at a precise time so that as to not undo any items that are being stored in here. That is why it's mainly locked in the first place, so that way any items in here can't be filtered or pushed down into this hopper. What also happens is this observer powers this block right here, which flicks these these iron doors on and off, causing multiple updates to this observer, firing these redstone torches a couple of times, making sure that anything in these droppers gets spit out. Now what happens to this signal over here? This signal pushes this piston right here, which extends this this piston up and this sand up. What will happen then, or I can actually demonstrate this if I push this up here. Now what will happen is this observer will detect the update in the repeater, which will send a power to this comparator, which will power this piston right here, breaking the box. And you can see it goes unpowered and powered. Did not mean to do that. But because the hopper right here was locked, nothing will happen. But in this when the system runs, this will unlock on time. And Essentially, what happens is this gets unlocked on time, it gets filtered down, and because this continues flicking for a little bit, it will cause the dropper to spit out the item into this secondary water stream. Now, this doesn't have to be a water stream, this could be a chest line or whatever you want to use, but this is just the example setup. Now, while this sand is up here, this is where the secondary signal comes in. The secondary signal comes in right here to power this observer right here, which actually powers this dropper through this observer, which causes this observer to detect the update in the dropper, powering this block right here. This block right here goes into this redstone repeater, which, as you'll notice, has a precise timing, so that way it powers this line and powering... That took a second, but basically I was wrong, actually. Let me just get this redstone dust right here. Basically what happens is this observer does not actually power the piston that moves up here through this comparator. I was actually wrong on that. Basically, this line up here actually does that. Wait, I'm just gonna... Yeah, so this line up here powers this piston through the sand block, which with some weird quasi-connectivity. But essentially, this line up here is to keep this signal still active and keep this signal powered, so this has enough of a pulse to fully extend and retract. Which is... yeah, it's a unique system, and that's my fault for not properly understanding it, but now we can look at the system actually in slow motion. So if I fill this up right here, I'll get all the way to the last, go right here, and you can notice that this still is powered, but this is getting the full signal. So if I go here, I set this in, you can see the lines go up, that powers, that comes down, that comes back, and then that fires again. Ignoring that because that's from my testing, but it would shoot out the box if the box was in the dropper slot. So yeah, overall a really great system and very compact and cheap. Now, another thing to note is these jack-o'-lanterns don't have to be jack-o'-lanterns. They could be any block that you just still conducts redstone signals, but the jack-o'-lanterns are here to stop mobs from spawning on like the packed ice and stuff when there's no water stream and things like that, like over here as well, and up here as well on the sand. But yeah, overall a really great system. So yeah, thank you for watching.